Hi guys, it's Stock Curry, and in today's video I'm going to give you my prediction for the cryptocurrency market in 2022, as well as some individual cryptocurrency news. I've also got a few stock picks for you guys, including a brand new one, so let's get into it! Okay, there was no market news to update you guys on today, so let's just get straight into the stock and crypto picks. For those of you guys who are new to this channel, my name is Stock Curry. I used to work as an analyst for some large investment banks, and now I analyze stocks for you. Every day I spend hours and hours and hours watching videos from the top finance channels, and then I consolidate all of their stock and crypto picks, and I put them together into a single video. I give you both the cliff notes on their stock picks, as well as my analysis on their stock picks. Now, if anything I talk about today piques your interest, make sure you listen to who I say talked about that stock or crypto, and then go watch their video to get the full details on what they said. Now, all I ask for putting all of this together for you guys is that you hit that like button, subscribe, and if you're on YouTube, click the bell icon next to subscribe to click all so that you can get notified when I release my next video. In fact, I'll give you 5 seconds to do that right now. Alright, before we get into today's stock and crypto picks, I do want to remind you that I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I talk about today is a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold. These are just my opinions, which may or may not be accurate. Please do your own research before investing in any asset. If you're wondering what you're looking at right now, this is the Webull desktop app. Webull is the app that I use for my trading, and it is also the app that I use in all of my videos. Alright, let's get into today's stock and crypto picks. And we're going to start with our overall market prediction for cryptocurrencies in 2022. For this, we're going to use BTC. This is Bitcoin. Now, ZipTrader discussed multiple analyst opinions on BTC and also gave his own thoughts and price prediction for next year. Some analysts are saying BTC will rise to over $100,000 next year, while others are saying it will drop down to $10,000. Now, most of the analysts did seem more bullish on Ethereum than Bitcoin, as they see the rise in NFTs benefiting Ethereum more than Bitcoin. Most of the analysts were bullish on BTC rather than bearish, and they are looking at the rise in utility to make their case. It's clear that whichever cryptocurrencies provide the most utility in things like NFTs, DeFi, and other use cases, those are going to be the cryptocurrencies that perform the best in 2022. Further, most of the analysts think traditional financial advisors are going to have to start discussing cryptocurrencies with their clients as more and more people want to invest in them. That is going to increase both the institutional support for cryptocurrencies as well as the number of fintech companies that provide support for crypto through new cryptocurrency services. And that will further increase the pressure to increase the utility of cryptocurrency. In the short term, though, cryptocurrency remains extremely volatile, and that is because cryptocurrency is one of the most heavily leveraged asset classes in the world. It's the only asset class that I know of that offers 100 times leverage on your investments. So overall, analysts are bullish on crypto for 2022, but do expect continued volatility with weekly rises and falls of 50% or more as leverage remains high. Now, personally, I am bullish on cryptocurrencies for the first quarter of 2022, but I do think that they're going to turn negative in the second, third, and fourth quarters of 2022 as the overall stock market takes a dip as well. Lately, it seems like cryptocurrencies has been trading in line with the stock market, so I think as the stock market dips in the second quarter through the fourth quarter of 2022, that cryptocurrencies are going to dip as well, and I think as the stock market experiences a bull run in the first quarter of 2022, that cryptocurrencies are going to experience a bull run in the first quarter of 2022 as well. I also think that individual meme coins, now who knows which ones those are going to be, will rise and fall very differently from the overall cryptocurrency market, so there's definitely going to be opportunities to make a ton of money in cryptocurrencies even if the overall crypto market falls. Okay, now let's move on to ELON, and this is Dogelon Mars. I just want to clarify something that Keenan Grace missed when he was talking about Dogelon Mars on Monday. Keenan Grace correctly pointed out that half of all ELON was given to Vitalik Buterin in an attempt to burn the coins. The thought was that Vitalik would hold on to the coins forever and never sell them. Now, Keenan Grace showed how the top wallet holder has 43% of all ELON. And Keenan Grace said that was a burn wallet, but actually it's not. Those ELON tokens were given to a nonprofit called Methuselah Foundation. Now, the Methuselah Foundation has vowed to manage their holdings in a way that will maximize the long-term value of ELON, but they never said that they would hold on to the tokens forever. In fact, they said they would advance the foundation's mission, which seems to imply that their plan is to sell the tokens at some point in the future. So 43% of the tokens were not in fact burned, and that is actually something that is keeping ELON from rising higher in price. There is a valid concern that ELON might drop in price once the Methuselah Foundation sells their coins. Regardless, ELON has been trying to make a comeback over the past week, and the crypto is up 50% over the past 7 days. Now, I can't really talk about the fundamentals on ELON because this is a meme coin. It might become more valuable in the future, but for now, the value is purely speculative. And the last cryptocurrency we're going to talk about in depth is Saitama. This is Saitama token. Keen & Grace took a little bit of a deeper dive into the Saitama audit that Surtech did. We already knew that 83% of the findings were resolved and that 17% of the findings were outstanding. Digging deeper, it looks like Surtech found 12 issues in total. 0 were critical, major, or medium. There were 6 minor issues and 6 informational issues. Informational issues include non-security related issues such as coding style and gas optimization issues. All 6 of the informational issues were resolved. Minor issues include volatile code and logical issues. In other words, coding issues that could cause issues but aren't major security problems. There were 6 minor issues found, and 4 of them have been resolved, while 2 of the minor issues remain unresolved. Don't forget that Saitama also has their exchange code review coming up, and they'll need to work out whatever issues Surtech finds with that as well. Now, whether or not Saitama is a scam or not, I honestly don't know. All I know is they have continuously failed to meet their promises, and for that reason, I am staying away from this cryptocurrency for now. And now onto our stock picks, and first up is FB. This is Meta Platforms, formerly known as Facebook. Jeremy with Financial Education said FB is the easiest moneymaker for 2022. He likes how the forward PE is relatively low at 24. Jeremy said FB should have as good of growth as AMZN next year, and AMZN is trading at a forward PE of 82. So FB would have to double in price to nearly $700 to get to the Amazon relative valuation. Jeremy with Financial Education also said he sees the hype in the Metaverse growing stronger next year, and obviously Meta Platforms is best positioned to take advantage of the growth in the Metaverse. Now, despite Jeremy's optimistic view of FB, the analysts disagree. The average analyst one-year price target is only $410. That represents an 18% upside from Monday's closing price, not the 100% upside that Jeremy sees. Now, in the short term, FB is very bullish. The candles are above all of the EMAs, and the MACD and RSI are both bullish as well. So I think this would be a good short-term play as well as a good long-term hold. If you are considering buying FB for a long-term hold, just keep in mind that I do expect a bear market next year, so we could see the price drop a little bit before it goes up. But over the next 3 to 4 years, I do think FB will outperform the market. And next up is a new stock that we've never talked about before on this channel, and that is MELI. This is Mercado Libre. They're a Latin American e-commerce, payment processor, and logistics services provider. This company would best be described as the Amazon of Latin America. This is one of the 3 stocks that Motley Fool said would perform well in 2022. The average analyst one-year price target is $2,167, which represents a 67% upside potential from Monday's closing price. It should be noted, though, that the last price target was given over 2 months ago. Now, one thing that Jeremy with Financial Education pointed out is that the price-to-earnings ratio is extremely high at 428, and the price-to-sales ratio is high at 16. But Jeremy also pointed out that with these high growth companies, a lot of times those PE ratios are justified due to the expected high growth of future revenues and profits. MELI is expected to grow revenues by 35% next year, but more importantly, they are expected to grow earnings by 200% next year. And companies are supposed to trade at 10 years worth of earnings, so at 200% annual growth rate in earnings, that PE of 400 is surprisingly justified. Especially if MELI truly does become the next Amazon of Latin America. Jeremy said MELI looks to be a great stock to buy if you're looking for global coverage, although he does think there are better opportunities in some US stocks. And next up is PYPL. This is PayPal, and this is another stock that the Motley Fool said would perform well in 2022. Now, the average analyst one-year price target is $269, which represents a 40% upside potential from Monday's closing price. The Motley Fool said PYPL should have a good year next year because Amazon is going to add PayPal's Venmo as a payment method. Further, gas stations and airlines are adding PayPal QR code payments, which will increase PayPal's revenues as well. Now, PYPL is not a value stock. The forward PE ratio is 41.66 and the price to sales ratio is 10.62. But given PayPal's expected future growth next year, the stock is not trading at a huge multiple. And technically, PYPL is very close to becoming bullish. It bounced off of strong support and it now appears to be trending up. Jeremy with Financial Education called PYPL easy money. Now, I'm not quite that bullish on PYPL because they have a lot of debt. PYPL is currently sitting on nearly $8 billion worth of debts. And as interest rates rise next year, that is going to put a serious dent in PayPal's profit margins. So overall, PYPL is a relatively cheap stock when you look at their expected revenue growth, but I do have some major concerns due to the massive amount of debt that they have. The only question is whether PayPal's increased revenues next year from their deal with Amazon will outweigh the increased cost of debt from rising interest rates. Jeremy with Financial Education thinks the deal with Amazon is large enough to do that, and he thinks PYPL is undervalued right now. I agree with Jeremy that PYPL is undervalued, but I'm a little more cautious and a little less optimistic than Jeremy is that PYPL will perform well next year. I like PYPL for a long-term hold, but I wouldn't bet on a guaranteed 40% rise next year. And next up is TDOC. This is Teladoc. Jeremy with Financial Education reviewed Motley Fool's stock pick TDOC. The Motley Fool pointed out that TDOC has a 70% upside potential according to analysts. We can see that on tip ranks. The average analyst one-year price target is nearly $160, which represents a 70% upside potential from Monday's closing price. If we scroll down and look at the individual price targets though, you can see how most of these were given over a month ago. The two price targets that came in the past 30 days were only at $110 and $113 respectively. By the way, if you want access to tip ranks so that you can see all of the individual analyst price targets as well as be able to read the reports, Tip Ranks is offering a year-end sale of 22% off right now. I have a link for that 22% off promotion in the description of this video. Now, aside from the analyst price targets, Motley Fool explained how TDOC could rise as more individuals use virtual care, especially as the pandemic spreads and people get used to doing everything from home. Finally, the Motley Fool pointed out that this is a long-term play and investors should be ready to hold through the end of 2022. Now, Jeremy with Financial Education agrees with the Motley Fool for the most part. He agrees that this would make a great long-term hold, but it does come with some risks. Jeremy pointed out how pandemic cases will fall and enthusiasm around TDOC will fall as well. That could put continued downward pressure on the stock, and I agree with Jeremy on that point. TDOC is not profitable, and they also have over $1 billion of debt. That debt is going to become more and more expensive as interest rates rise next year, and that is really going to hurt Teladoc's EBITDA. And it's not like the stock price is cheap right now. The price to sales ratio is high at 7.74. So TDOC is far more likely to fall next year than rise. That is backed up by the technicals, which are quite bearish right now. TDOC is a falling knife, but it does have some support at around $70. Overall, 2022 does not look good for TDOC, and I would stay away from it until 2023. Ultra long term though, as in over the next 10 years, TDOC should perform well. And the last stock we're going to talk about today is TSLA. This is Tesla, and they're an American EV manufacturer. StockMo said he sold out of his TSLA when Elon Musk announced that he was going to be selling his shares, but now StockMo is buying back in. StockMo thinks TSLA will get back to $1,200 soon. Technically, TSLA just turned 100% bullish on Monday, with the MACD now having formed a golden cross and the candles above all of the EMAs. Long term, I think TSLA is going to struggle next year as inflation and interest rates rise, but in the short term, TSLA does look to be quite bullish. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video and get a lot out of it. Comment down below what your favorite cryptocurrency is. And if you're looking for a broker to trade with, you can sign up for Webull using my link in the description below. When you sign up for Webull using my link in the description below and deposit just $100, Webull is going to send you 2 free stocks worth up to $2,300. They also have cryptocurrency trading over there with popular cryptocurrencies including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, Mana, and a whole bunch of others. And when you make your first crypto trade for just $5, Webull is also going to give you an additional $5 in free cryptocurrency. Now, if you're not a U.S. resident, or if you're looking to trade OTC penny stocks, or if you just don't like payment for order flow, then I recommend Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers is the best trading platform for international users. Trade started just $1 US, $1 Canadian dollar, 4 euros, or 6 Australian dollars, depending upon where you live. And both Webull and Interactive Brokers both offer the full pre-market and after-hours trading from 4 a.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I do want to remind you that I have material connections with both of those, so whenever you sign up for either one, not only are you getting a great broker to trade with, you're also helping me to continue to produce these great videos for you. Now, finally, I want to remind you to hit that like button, subscribe, and follow the page if you haven't already. I hope you have a lot of success trading, and I will see you tomorrow.